this is an unusual video on Avenue X because I'm not going to talk about any drama. I'm going to talk about a real life story that just took place in China. This story is nothing short of a miracle, and I think it's a great thing to talk about and to know at the beginning of a new week. Depending on where you are physically in this world, you may not hear this story on the sort of major news outlet, but I think this is such an incredible story. I think it's worth knowing wherever you are. So on May the 14th, China time 2018, literally less than a day from when I'm filming this video, a Chinese domestic flight from Chongqing, my hometown city, to the capital of Tibet, Lhasa, emergency landed in Chengdu's airport. This is a morning flight from Sichuan Airline, and the flight number is 3U8633 within China, the domestic number. This is a regular morning flight, 6 a.m. to about 9 a.m. What's incredible about this story is the plane is an Airbus plane, and it took off in Chongqing, everything was fine. When it got into the mountain range of Tibet, at the height of 32,000 feet, one of the windshields suddenly broke off, just came off at the full speed and at the cruising height of this plane. The co-pilot got sucked half out of the plane, but because he was wearing a seatbelt, he didn't fully exit the plane, so that managed to save his life. While the pilot suffered from sudden loss of pressure, injury to his eardrums, the sudden drop of temperature within the cabin, which lowered to like minus 40 degrees in seconds, while the wind speed is like over 140 meters per second was hitting on him, or his auto system on the plane failed. Parts of the plane's control panel got lifted up, and because the plane was shaking so violently, he couldn't really read any numbers from his equipment. And because of the noise, he couldn't really hear much sound from the radio communication from the air traffic control. With all these insane conditions, he managed to turn his plane back, flew to Chengdu's airport, which is about 100 and 150 kilometers from where the plane had its accident. So from the moment the plane lost one of its windshield to the moment that the plane landed, it was about 20 minutes. This incredible pilot basically eyeballed this Airbus plane with over 100 passengers on board and landed it safely. This got to be one of the craziest incident and story in the entire world's aviation history. Because I watch a lot of air crash investigation series, I know one of the similar incidents happened in Britain many years ago, having the same situation where one of the windshield got blown out. But this is even crazier because when they had this accident, they were in Tibet. And because of mountain ranges in the area, the pilot couldn't lower the plane to the sort of under 10,000 feet so that the temperature could be easier and the wind could be easier to deal with. Because they were so high, he could only lower the plane to 24,000 feet, and he had to fly out of the zone and then to lower the plane further. So for that 20 minutes, this man in a short sleeve shirt with over 500 kilometers per hour wind slamming on him, and without any assistance really from all these auto systems on his plane, somehow managed to save everybody on board. He's actually not the worst injured person. The worst injured person is the co-pilot, but both of them are actually now okay, and one of the air hostess is injured as well, but everybody else is fine. This pilot told in his interview after the incident that it was really lucky because on the day, it was a clear day, there was no cloud, so he could basically see where the airport is and landed it just by manual control of the plane. Had it been a cloudy day, things might be very different. We might be looking at a really bad incident that Airbus is not going to like. Thanks to this extremely calm and skilled pilot, his name is Liu Chuanjian. Images is here, so remember this incredible man. Everybody on board of his plane survived. Before he started flying commercial airlines, he was actually an Air Force pilot tutor. So I guess that really plays into the incredible calmness that he had when dealing with such an unimaginable and sudden event. Obviously, I wish this kind of incidents would never ever take place on this planet, but we do know we live in a very realistic world. There's always a chance for something really terrible to happen. But out of it came such an incredible story and miracle. And I want to share this with you at the beginning of a new week. And hopefully in a very weird way, it might cheer you up. It might make you feel a little bit more alive and more appreciative of the fact that you have a new day. And every moment that we have in our life should not be taken for granted. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long, and be safe.